They say never cross a man who can park a lawnmower on your pristine grass. But no one warns you about the guy who'll drop a 40-foot yacht in your community pool. That's exactly what I did, earning the title Admiral Defiance in Willow Creek. This is the tale of how a ruthless homeowners association ripped away the one thing tethering me to sanity after a soul-crushing divorce, and how I turned their iron-fisted rule into a neighborhood saga they'll whisper about for decades. I'm telling this story from the dock where my cherished boat now rests, safe at last. What would you do if someone stole your final shred of peace? I didn't just fight back, I made sure the whole world saw it. My name's Nathan Hayes, a 38-year-old landscape designer who works from home. 6 months ago, I moved to Willow Creek, chasing a fresh start after my ex-wife, Rachel, tore my life apart in a divorce that left me hollow. She'd betrayed me with my business partner, stripped me of nearly everything, and left me with nothing but my 22-foot fishing boat, Saw Freedom Saw. That boat wasn't just a vessel, it was my lifeline. I fought tooth and nail to keep it when Rachel's lawyer tried to claim it, even though she'd never once set foot on its deck. Saw Freedom Saw was where I found solace when my world collapsed, where I spoke to my dad gone 5 years now as if he were still beside me, his old fishing lures clinking in the tackle box. The divorce wrecked me. Panic attacks at 3 a.m., hands trembling at every phone call, confidence shattered. But on Saw Freedom Saw, with the water's gentle sway, I could breathe again. Willow Creek seemed like a sanctuary at first, tree-lined streets, flawless lawns, a place to heal. The realtor mentioned the HOA but brushed it off as a minor detail, just there to keep standards. I should have noticed her uneasy smile. 3 days after moving in, I met Margaret Voss, the HOA president. She glided into my driveway, silver hair impeccable, nails sharp as talons, her smile colder than a winter wind. "Welcome to Willow Creek," she said, handing me a rulebook thicker than a dictionary. Her half-hour lecture on mailbox colors and hedge heights felt less like a welcome and more like a power play. Her smug tone dug into me, stirring the same dread I'd felt in the final years of my marriage, when Rachel's control had suffocated me. Trouble brewed the moment I brought Saw Freedom Saw home. The HOA rules allowed boats in driveways for 48 hours for maintenance. I planned carefully, parking Saw Freedom Saw from Saturday to Sunday, polishing its hull with care. Then Margaret appeared, clipboard in hand, her sidekick, Leonard Pratt, hovering behind her like a vulture. "Mr. Hayes?" she sneered, eyeing my boat as if it were trash. "Watercraft in the driveway?" I quoted the bylaws, keeping my voice steady but firm. Her eyes narrowed to slits. "We'll see," she hissed, stalking off. That night, my neighbor, Claire Morgan, a 35-year-old schoolteacher, stopped by with a plate of cookies and a warning. "Margaret's relentless," she said, glancing nervously down the street. "She fined me for planting unapproved daisies." Claire's quiet resolve and tales of Margaret's tyranny made it clear, this wasn't just a nosy neighbor. This was a battle. The violations came fast and furious. Grass too long by a quarter inch. Mailbox the wrong shade of beige. Garden hose. Unsightly. Each carried a $50 fine, doubling if unpaid within 48 hours. At an HOA meeting, Margaret silenced me mid-sentence, and Leonard slammed the gavel, declaring the matter closed. An email, accidentally forwarded, revealed I'd been branded a problem resident. Every notice hit like a punch, dragging me back to the helplessness of my divorce. But staring at Saw Freedom Saw, now stored off-site, lit a spark of defiance. I started documenting everything, photos of my lawn with a ruler, timestamps of every interaction. Claire and I grew close, meeting for coffee or strolling by the community lake. She shared her own scars from an abusive ex, and I opened up about Rachel's betrayal. "Saw Freedom Saw isn't just a boat," I told her. "It's a promise I made to my dad." Her steady support felt like a lifeline. Then came the day that broke me. I woke to an empty driveway. Saw Freedom Saw was gone. Heart pounding, I called the police, only to learn the HOA had towed it. Leonard, smirking over the phone, said it was at Carver Towing, recoverable for $800 plus $750 in fines. I collapsed, gasping, the loss hitting harder than Rachel's affair. Saw freedom was my sanity, my anchor. When the panic subsided, a cold, razor-sharp rage took its place. At the tow yard I found freedom scratched, its trailer wheel broken, my dad's fishing lures me last keepsake gone. The owner, Derek Carver, shrugged off my complaints, and Margaret dismissed my damage claim with a smirk. Maybe your boat was already falling apart, she taunted. Like your marriage. Derek's cruel jab echoed her. Some men can't hold on to anything. That was it. The old Nathan, who let Rachel trample him, was dead. The new Nathan would burn their world down. Claire's eyes blazed when I told her. They're not enforcing Rules theory hunting you. We met that night, and I swore no one would take what was mine again. Using my design skills, I dove into the HOA's records, uncovering a 300-fan tram spike in towing fees since Derek joined the board. A retired professor, Arthur Klein, revealed Margaret's 30-fan tram cut from every tow, a shady deal with Derek. The HOA secretary, Ali Vy Ruiz, a single mom wary of Margaret, slipped me financials showing 37 vehicles towed in 3 years at inflated rates. Claire, with access to property records from her side job, found a gem: no rule-banned boats in the community pool. The idea struck like a thunderbolt. Park a yacht in Margaret's precious pool during her exclusive Neighbor of the Year barbecue. Operation Sea Strike was born, planned with military precision. I assembled a crew: Arthur for legal expertise, Ali Vy for documents, Miguel Torres, a tow driver with his own grudge against Margaret, and Evelyn Brooks, a retired attorney and photographer to capture it all. Claire became our mastermind, designing banners and plotting a social media storm. My old college friend, Ryan Parker, lent me a 40-foot yacht, saw Margaret's reckoning for the day. We held covert meetings, used encrypted chats, and ran a 3 a.m. test with a kayak-to-clock securities response. Claire's idea to set up a coffee stand by the pool guaranteed a crowd. The plan was wild but bulletproof. We'd expose Margaret's corruption without breaking a single rule. The night before, Claire and I sat on my porch, the air crackling with anticipation. 6 months ago, I'd have run from this, she admitted. But some fights are worth it. Some people are. Our first kiss felt like a vow. At 5 a.m., Miguel's trailer hauled Margaret's reckoning into Willow Creek. Security guards froze as we maneuvered the yacht through the pool gate, hitting a snag but bluffing it off as routine maintenance. By 6:30, the yacht floated in the pool, banners screaming, 100-fan tram HOA compliant, and financial records plastered on every surface. I stood on the deck, hard hammering, as Derek arrived, face purple, slipping into the pool in a failed attempt to climb aboard. The crowd roared. Margaret stormed in at 8:45, clipboard in hand, and stopped dead. Her shock morphed into rage as she dialed Leonard and the police. From the deck, I blared her dirty deals through a loudspeaker, Arthur backing me with legal citations. The police, fed up with HOA complaints, refused to arrest me. Margaret's facade cracked as she screamed, "This is my neighborhood!" Then, on live TV, thanks to a reporter Claire had tipped off, admitted her towing kickbacks. The residents' silence for years erupted. A couple shared a $3,000 fine for a basketball hoop. A widow recounted repainting her house 3 times to appease Margaret. Arthur exposed her board purges. An accountant, Susan Lee, uncovered $75,000 in misallocated funds. Claire, finding her voice, called for an emergency vote to oust Margaret, Leonard, and Derek. With 70-fan tram of homeowners present, 95-fan tram voted them out. Margaret's threats dissolved as the community united. Neighbors swapped stories, formed committees, and rediscovered their spine. Susan's audit later uncovered $120,000 embezzled over 5 years. Margaret faced probation and community service, her house seized. Leonard lost his SAVYNGS, and Derek, his towing license, ended up ticketing cars. I got my $1,550 back, Plus do law 5,000 for saw freedom saw s damage, and Dad's lures mysteriously reappeared. Willow Creek transformed overnight. Block parties replaced patrols. Gardens burst with color. The new HOA, with Claire as VYC president, slashed fees and welcomed input. Saw Freedom Saw now sits in my garage, and Willow Creek's boat rules became a regional model. Claire and I grew closer, fishing on Saw Freedom Saw. 6 months later, I proposed with Dad's lures, and she said yes. One rainy day, when a widow's basement flooded, 15 neighbors showed up to help a community reborn. Margaret's reign is a faded nightmare, but the yacht's story lives on. When someone gripes about the HOA, we chuckle. Careful, or we'll park a yacht in the pool. Sometimes, the biggest boats deliver the sweetest justice.